Today we celebrate the feast day of St. Augustine of Canterbury. In the 600s AD, the Pope at the time, referred to as Pope Gregory the Great, who's responsible for some of our Gregorian chant, he was walking around Rome and saw some slaves with blondie-coloured hair. And slaves were a problem in any case, and they were trying to eliminate slavery. But the Pope hadn't seen people with this blondie-coloured hair before. And he said, where are these people from? And they said, those people are Angles. And he said, well, they should be angels. They look a bit like angels with this beautiful blondie curly hair. And so St. Augustine of Canterbury was sent from Rome to go to England to bring the faith there. The faith hadn't, at this stage, had come to England, and St. Augustine was sent there as the first missionary to the English people. We are here today, more than likely, because of the missionary efforts of St. Augustine of Canterbury. I don't think the Christian faith would have found its way all the way down here if it wasn't for the fact that it came to England and went to Northern Europe and other places, and eventually the English and others came here. We know that the English then sent missionaries to Ireland as well. Augustine became a bishop, started the church in Canterbury, hence why he became known as the St. Augustine of Canterbury. That was one of the major kingdoms, or the major place of population, at least in England at the time. And then he started other dioceses in London and in Kent also. And that was sort of the foundations, the presence, start of the Christian presence in England. So today we honour and think of St. Augustine, and we think of the missionary efforts of the church to bring faith to all people. 100 years ago, just later in this year, on the birthday of Mary, or actually on the vigil of the birthday of Mary, on September 7th in 1921 in Dublin, Frank Duff started the Legion of Mary. The Legion of Mary started just after World War I. And one of the interesting things about the Legion is it wasn't meant to be an army. The people of that time had already experienced so much death, and a lot of them had very bad experiences of where armies can do terrible things, as we saw during World War I. But this army, the Legion of Mary, wasn't meant to be one that caused war or destruction, but it was an army that came together in the prayer of God, through spiritual works and through corporal works of mercy. And that's been a big part of what the Legion of Mary has been right throughout its history. One of the interesting things I found about serving within the military is that there's a certain humility about being part of an army. Even for generals come and go, commanders come and go, everybody comes and goes. Eventually, once you gather with a few other captains or a few other majors, or even when I've been present, when you've got generals all gathering, there was a certain humility that, well, they're all part of this, and it's not really about them. And ultimately, the Legion of Mary is not about the individual control of any particular member. It's about humility. It's about being able to see Jesus clearly, and then to be able to serve Jesus through honouring our Blessed Mother. And so Frank Duff encouraged a structure that encouraged humility. And that's a quality that all of us are called to have in our spiritual lives. We're called to be humble, that we're part of this family together, or perhaps an army together, not to bring war, but to bring the love of God to the world through prayer and through spiritual and corporal works of mercy. And our Legion of Mary, even in our own parish, are continuing that even today. And so we thank our Legion of Mary members who are here today, who've helped organise the statue for this centenary to visit here with us today and tomorrow. Pray for the Legion of Mary in this parish. Pray that, a bit like our gospel today, Bartimaeus, that we will be able to be calling out for Jesus, to have pity on us, that Jesus will see us, and that as we see at the end of this gospel, Bartimaeus is told to go, your faith has saved you. And this is what the words of Jesus has said to all of us. We're called to go because our faith has saved us. And then, interestingly, his sight's returned and then he follows Jesus. So in going, he actually joins Jesus more permanently. The Legion of Mary, please pray for them, pray for their work, pray for the continued success, maybe for the next 100 years of the work of the Legion of Mary in this country and in many other countries as well, to encourage people to grow in a love for God, a love for neighbour, through honouring the Blessed Virgin Mary, by being part of a community together that doesn't focus on self, that doesn't promote self, but that promotes humility and promotes a community working together for the work of God. So let's today also think, as I mentioned at the beginning, St. Augustine of Canterbury, that great missionary who brought the faith to the people of England as well. St. Augustine of Canterbury, pray for us.